Bueno, soul family, ¿cómo está usted? Wanted to catch up with you guys. I know it's been a minute, but I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of great friends and a lot of people I talk to and work with, and even just myself personally, who've really been looking for more than great catchphrases, more than great quotes, but just really looking for some way or a tool to be able to really do the work and kind of change your thoughts, right? So it's always a great thing to read great quotes and great books and all of these things, but what do they really matter? What do they really mean if we don't, actually be able to apply the work that we're talking about here, right? So I wanted to offer a couple of things in order to help you get better at your thought work. So one of the things that work tremendously well for me and have throughout my whole journey is a thought download. So this is really cool. First, I guess step one would be be prepared and be aware, right? And listen to when you feel like people are telling you something you don't want to hear, or you feel triggered, or something is coming up inside of you. Listen to that inner voice inside before you respond. So first step is awareness. Step two is your thought download. Now your thought download is basically going to be all of the things, all of the information that you're thinking in that moment as you're going through that experience, right? And you can either do that in the moment if you're somewhere where you can actually jot things down, or you can wait until you're in a space or even a place to be able to do that. So you're going to want to write all your thoughts down. Once you do that, you're going to then write your feelings that are associated with those thoughts, right? So a lot of times we're just like, oh, we just have this feeling of this thing or whatever. And sometimes that is our inner knower, right? It's like this intuitive, inner soul knowing that we just have. And sometimes it isn't. Sometimes it's really our thoughts that are happening in our mind, and then our body is experiencing it. That happens more often than not. So that's why we want to be aware, and in order to bring ourselves awareness, we have to know what thoughts are we experiencing and how do those thoughts relate to our feelings, right? So you're going to do your thought download, and then you're going to do the feelings that are associated with those thoughts, right? Once you do that, step three is going to be finding the truth in your thought download, right? So when you do your thought download, you're not going to judge it. You're just going to write every single thing you're thinking in the moment about that experience, about the person or the people or whatever it is. You're going to write everything down, no judgment of yourself. Then after you write down your feelings and all the feelings that you're having and that are associated with that, then at that point you're going to go into all of the specifics around what of your thought download is actually true. So where are the facts, right? Because a lot of times what ends up happening is that we catastrophize. We take one instance and one situation to the nth degree, and we think about the worst possible scenario, and that's where our mind goes. And then our body follows, because it's all this thought work, it's all of our thoughts that are then triggering these emotional responses, right? So the idea here is to become the scientist of your brain. So if you know what thoughts trigger what feelings, then you can figure out what thoughts you should have versus the thoughts that you do have, right? So this really gives you an opportunity to begin to manage your thoughts better. Okay, so we're going to be aware, right? Number one. I probably should have wrote this down. We're going to be aware, number one. Number two, we're going to do our thought download. Number three, we're going to write down the feelings associated with the thought. And then number four, we're going to find out of the thought download that we did, what feelings are actually facts or are true, right? That we know to be true, not that we perceive to be true or that we think are true. What do we actually know to be true? Okay, so that's number four. Once you do that, then you're going to neutralize your thoughts. A lot of times we go right into, okay, so I have negative thoughts, I have negative feelings, I want to rush through these feelings, and I want to just get into positive thoughts and positive feelings, right? Well, most of us can't get there that quickly, okay? I mean, it's just not, we haven't learned it, we haven't been taught to do it, so it's not something that we're going to do very easily, right? So this is why you have to create this cycle, right, of training your mind, your body, and your brain, and your emotions into a specialized neutralized condition so that you can get the results that you want. Okay, so after we look at the facts that we have of our thoughts, then we're going to go into, okay, based on the facts of our thoughts and my thought download, you're going to look at your thought download specifically, and you're going to essentially highlight some of the more common thoughts you have, and whatever that could be. I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not pretty enough, so on and so forth, because a lot of that will be in your original thought download. I'm not worthy, all of these things, right? So you'll highlight all of those things. Then we will figure out what can we replace with that thought. So when that thought comes up again, what can we do to neutralize that thought, okay? So a neutral thought is like, let's say you think, I'm fat, right? Let's say that's a thought that you have. The way to neutralize that thought is you can say, there are a lot of men or women, depending on, obviously who you are, who are have my same body type. There are a lot of people my size. This is just the size that I am, right? So whatever it is, you can utilize your original thought that is more likely than not a negative one, right? To a neutral thought, or, I have fat on my body, right? Because that's true for all of us. So you're going to want to make sure the neutral thought is something that you can believe in. And then you're going to want to recite those thoughts over and over and over again on a very consistent basis. I personally love to write them on my mirror because I think that's just the best way to do it. Start your morning with all these wonderful thoughts about yourself, right? And that will help you in more of your trying and very difficult situations. And it's going to allow you to train your body, train your heart, train your mind, train your soul, and getting it to become, so you can become your best friend, so that your inner voice heals and improves and isn't speaking to you in a negative way anymore, but is more warm, more comforting, and more loving. Okay, so that's all I got for you guys today. Hopefully I didn't run that down too fast. I love you all so much. Be so very safe this holiday season. And tomorrow is Halloween, so be safe tomorrow if you do choose to go out as well. Love you guys. Namaste.